guys, it's Sam, and today I'm here to talk about my 2021 reading goals. So this time of year is my favorite, just for like the goal setting, intention, manifestation, energy. The last few years I've just been really good about like reading goals and personal goals. By the way, if you're interested in my personal goals, I talked about those during Vlogmas on my other channel. So I will link that on the screen, and my other channel is also linked down below if you want to follow me there. But I love, and I probably already talked about this, but I'm filming this early, so I don't know what I'm going to say in these later videos, but I love the energy of like favorites of the year videos, disappointing reads, wrapping up the year, the new goals, all of that. Like, it's just, this time of year on BookTube just makes me so happy. So let's get to my 2021 goals. I've gotten better about my goal setting over the years when it comes to BookTube because I see where I fail and I make changes based on that. And I'm really trying this year to not give myself too many things, especially as far as specific books that I don't have on my shelf, but I'll get to that. So first off, the big important number this year, I think, and this is gonna be like, I'm not sure, I don't know, but I'm gonna try to read 70 books. I've had this goal before, but the last few years I've stuck to 52 and that's been fine. But in 2020, I read like over 100 books, which is rare. That's not going to probably happen again because quarantine allowed that to happen and everything else. Yes, I'm aware of that. However, my current job makes it a little bit easier than previous jobs I've had to read after hours. I don't leave work as exhausted as previous jobs, and that's probably going to continue to happen as long as we're working from home as well, which will probably be a good chunk of this year again. So I think I can keep up like a fairly decent reading pace, not the 100 books a year reading pace probably, but I think 70 is good. I think 52 is too low unless I hit like a massive reading slump, or by halfway to like 3/4 of the way through the year, things start kind of getting back to normal and I start having a life outside of the home. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. So I think this year 70 is doable. Could it be a stretch? I don't know. We'll see when I get to the mid-year and, you know, what has happened. My other big goal, similar to last year, is just catching up on or finishing some series. I just want to continue that trend. I read so many series for me and finished them up or like caught up on them in 2020, and I just want to continue to do that because I like having more like, okay, I've read this completed series, I can compare it to other series. Like, just as a reader and reviewer and a critical reader and all those things, having completed series, especially series that have been out for a while and are completed themselves, is nice for me. So I want to do that continually. I'm only going to give myself 5 right now because a couple of these I'm like, you don't own some of those books. And like I mentioned at the very beginning, I am kind of bad about making goals for books that I don't own already, and I will always prioritize the books right in front of me before books that I don't own. It's very hard for me to buy books, especially from like some of these series. I want to buy the books and have the whole series on my shelf. That's just what I personally do. So it's very hard for me to say I'm going to read this series when I don't already own it. So I don't like making that goal for myself. So I don't think I did that. I think I did that with only like one. Oh, I did that with a couple of them, but only here and there. And that's why I'm only giving myself 5 series that are completed series that I want to finish. More series than this that I will talk about in a second. But first is the Ryaria Revelation series by Michael J. Sullivan. And this is good because I own these books. I own books 2 and 3 of this series. So this will probably be the first one that I will likely read because I already have them. And they're fun. Then we have the Devabad trilogy by S.A. Chakraborty. I also have 2 books in this series and I don't own those. However, I put this on a list even though I don't own them, and I'm trying to tell myself not to do stuff like that because I want to read this series soon. I feel like if I stay too long out of this world, I'm going to start forgetting things. I'm going to have to reread the first book, which wouldn't be a crime because it's wonderful, but I just want to stick with it and keep reading it. And it's a completed series and I would like to catch up and finish it. Then we have The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman. This is a duology and I just need to read the second book, and I think I want to own it because I liked the first book a lot, but I think I might just get this from the library, and then if I really like it, get both books. Because I've heard some conflicting things about the second book, and I own the first book, so we'll see. But I think I can do this from the library, so even though I don't own it, I can get to it faster that way. Then another series I only have 1 book for is the Imperium trilogy by Claire Legrand. I've already read the first 2 books, Furyborn and Kingsbane, so the last book is Lightbringer, which just came out I think in like October of 2020, so I want to finish that up. Only 1 book left. I want to have all the books on my shelf. I think I could do that. And lastly is the Greatcoat series by Sebastian de Castell. Now I believe this is a quartet. I have book 2. I've already read book 1 and I'm rereading book 1 on audiobook, and I actually really like the audiobook narration. So I'm thinking, even though I own a physical copy of book 2, I might just listen to all of them on audiobook. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we'll see if I want to just pick this up and read it. I don't know, but I'm thinking I could get these from the library. So again, even though I don't own multiple books in this series, I can get them from the library, so it's almost like I do own them. So my next goal, which is again a smaller goal, I'm only putting a couple books in this category, is to catch up on some ongoing series. And for this, I chose books that I do already own in those ongoing series, and I'll be totally caught up with them. So first we have the Locked Tomb series, meaning I would have to read Harrow the Ninth, which I do own, and I can read this before Electo comes out, which I think is going to be this year or next year, don't really know, and I'll be caught up. So, making smart choices. And the second series is the Gentle and Bastard series by Scott Lynch, the third book being The Republic of Thieves that I've had on my shelf for so long, but now the fourth book is finally coming out, we think, in 2021, like summer or fall 2021. So I can read this, be caught up, and be caught up for when that book comes out, and then hopefully read that also this year, but I'm not putting that on here as a goal. But I want that to potentially happen. So those are the two ongoing series that I want to officially catch up on. Then we have a stretch goal because I have to be ridiculous. And this includes neither catching up or finishing a series, but it's just continuing on and pushing myself to do this, which is why I'm making it a goal for the year, because I need to push myself to do this because I'm intimidated. And that is to read Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson, book 2 in the Stormlight Archives. I get them in the UK editions so that they're broken into 2 books, but it's one book. Over 1,000 pages, and I enjoyed the first book. I don't want to stay, again, too long out of the world, similar to the David Bod trilogy. Like, I just don't want to stay too long out of here, even though I will eventually when I catch up, because he doesn't necessarily write 1 book a year for this series. But anyway, I want to be mindful. So I would like to at least read this book this year as a stretch goal. And then my last goal is a goal I also mentioned in my personal goals, but I do want to mention it over here, and that is to read at least 1 workbook a month. So that means a like nonfiction psychology based book, either a textbook or a like book for consumers or whatever, about therapy, psychology modalities, things like that. I talk about that more in my personal goals video on my other channel, but I wanted to let you guys know that here in case you were interested in some of those books, because I will be wrapping them up on my other channel. So like every 4 or 5 books that I read for those, so every 4 or 5 months, hopefully, I will be wrapping them up over there, because I feel like that's a different space more for that, more suited to that, because this channel is very much my like normal genres of fantasy, sci-fi, and romance. So I just want to kind of keep it a little bit separate, but I am doing that, and it is technically a book goal because it'll take away from some of my fiction reading. And that is it for all of my goals. As per usual, I will check in mid-year, see how I'm doing, see if I want to make any new goals, things like that. I will be stunned if I get through all of these before the mid-year, but who knows? I kind of did for a lot of things with my mid-year in 2020, so who knows? But we will see how I'm doing, see if I want to add anything then. And I will be adding all of these to my reading spreadsheet, which I will link down below. It's the same reading spreadsheet I use every year, but she just updates it, so I will link the 2021 one down below. So comment below, let me know your reading goals for 2021. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.